Globers. They're here, by the way. They are here. They don't always say stuff. Smash the like button, por favor. All right. So one of the main things we're going to talk about tonight is planes on a globe. So as you can see, you got planes flying all over the place, including north and south. Okay. We all know this. Obviously, planes fly every day. Now they say that this is the Earth. We're spinning, and the planes fly over the spinning Earth. Now, by just looking at this graphic, you can begin to see a problem, right? The Earth is spinning underneath the planes, and the planes are going in different directions. Now, this is actually impossible. It's impossible, okay? Now, trust me, I know the Globers don't think it's impossible, but it is. All right, so we're going to come over here real fast. Let's cover what they claim is happening on the globe. All right, share this. Please pay attention, Globers. School is in session. I need you guys to pay attention. Is it not going to play the audio? I swear I hate when this happens. I'm going to have to upload the video to StreamYard. All right, so they claim that the Earth is spinning and that the atmosphere is spinning with the Earth. Okay? Now, they claim that it's not spinning perfectly with the Earth because they claim there's something called Coriolis. Now, you, of course, can't have your cake and eat it too and say that there's Coriolis for things like bullets and the atmosphere moves differently than the Earth. But when it comes to stuff like planes, well, the atmosphere moves with the Earth. The Stillman argument for the globe is that this is actually their position. The atmosphere moves with the Earth, but not exactly. It's actually separate, which is why we have stuff like Coriolis. But it's negligible. It isn't that much of a difference. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay, now, here's the official position of a pilot on the Earth that thinks the Earth's a globe.
Right. Yeah. So basically, it's like the Earth spins and curves, but you fly the plane like it's flat and stationary. Yeah. So it could be flat and stationary.
It's like he just genuinely.
Right. Yeah. So basically, it's like the Earth spins and curves, but you fly the plane like it's flat and stationary. Yeah. So it could be flat and stationary.
Dude on the right's triggered. He was triggered. I have that full convo. I'll end up uploading it. I'm going to be making a few videos. I'm going to fully break this down in an edited video that's real concise so you guys can share it with your fellow indoctrinated baller. It's going to be intense for some of the ballers in here. They're not going to like this episode, but it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Okay, so say that the plane is flying north to south. They claim the Earth is spinning underneath it, okay? Again, I know some people like their graphics. Let me throw this back up here for you. They say this is the Earth and that it's spinning and the planes are flying over it. Well, when the plane flies north to south, like we'll use this plane as an example, the Earth will be spinning east underneath it, okay? Therefore, by the time that we get to our destination, say a few thousand miles away, the Earth will have spun underneath us a significant distance because, again, the Earth's atmosphere doesn't move with the Earth in the globe model. So objectively, you would have to account for this. The way you would do it is you would actually bank east. Okay? Now, they claim that the Earth and the atmosphere don't move perfectly together, but that is pretty close and it's negligible. Maybe I need to show a video here, but everyone should understand the concept of fluid dynamics as it pertains to rotation. You can just think of a blender. As a blender turns on, all the air towards the outside of the blender to the container, it all will move because you created a rotation in the middle. But the air towards the edge of the container is going to drag behind the air in the center. It's going to continually drag behind it. It's actually very simple to understand why. You have friction in the air, and that air on the outside has a greater distance to travel than on the inside. If you have a circle, then you have a bigger circle. The bigger circle is a greater distance. So you have to travel that greater distance. In order for the atmosphere to move perfectly in lockstep with the globe, you would actually have to have an increase in energy as you go higher. Proportionate to altitude, there would have to be an increase in energy, making the atmosphere stay in lockstep with the Earth because it has to travel a greater distance. So it would have to go a greater speed to go a greater distance in the same amount of time, i.e. moving in lockstep. Now, they obviously can't claim this for many reasons. One is that isn't reality. They don't have any type of mechanism they could make up to say that there's an increase in energy proportionate to altitude, directly proportionate to the needed increase in speed. But even more obvious than that, and there are probably 50 reasons why the model can't claim this and doesn't and never will, is because you couldn't fly a plane, period. You could not fly in any direction against the spin of the Earth if the atmosphere moved perfectly in lockstep with it, okay? And there are many other reasons. So anyway, they claim that the atmosphere moves separate from the Earth. Now, everyone should soak this in. If this is true, the globe Earth is debunked thousands of times every day, okay? Now, again, just like the pilot said, you have to fly the plane like it's stationary. Okay, north to south flights on the Earth debunk the globe. We'll cover it more in depth in just a second, but I'll show you guys this. It gets really... People have been getting really emotional when I bring this argument up. Let's just say that. Because it spills over into something that people don't want to talk about, and it really hits home. And that is the moon landing. So we'll get into that in just a second. I just want to kind of iron out this concept here. So obviously the Earth's going to spin underneath you. You're going to have to bank east to keep up with the Earth to get to your destination. So actually what you would have to do is bank east and accelerate forward constantly, adjusting for the spin of the Earth to stay en route. Now, we've had a plethora of answers, right? We've had people say they do that. Now, they obviously don't do that. In reality, pilots do not account for the spin of the Earth whatsoever. What they do is they account for wind. Wind and the spin of the Earth are two different things. Of course, the wind blows in all directions. So what they try to say, because this is what the globe always has to do, they have to create an explanation where it can't be falsified, and it just happens to be a negligible amount, right? So they say, well, when you're adjusting for wind, the Coriolis gets lost in the sauce, basically. When you're adjusting for wind, you don't have to worry about the fact that you're spinning underneath you. That's incorrect, though. You objectively would have to do that. Now, some have claimed that the planes do that, right? Now, you can actually look at the schematics of any plane. They 100% don't do that, right? Now, most planes are autopilot, certainly commercial nowadays, but they don't do that. They don't adjust for the spin of the Earth. In addition, if they did, then the pilots would have to be trained to know this in case they have to fly manually, which many people do, of course, and they don't. No one ever does this. The claim from the globe has to be, oh, well, it just gets lost in the sauce because of wind, okay? That doesn't work. It doesn't work. And we're going to get more in depth with how it doesn't work. So that's the first thing we're going to cover is that fact you actually couldn't fly north and south on a spinning globe, right? Because you would miss your target, period. I know people are going to fight it. It is what it is. Okay, now something else we're going to talk about is, and we'll go in depth with each of these, the plane can't land on a spinning Earth. It can't physically land on the spinning Earth. Now, you can land on a moving surface. I will show you specifically. It's a very easy concept to understand. You can land on a moving surface. That is 100% correct. Let's check this video out. Oh, man. I forgot about that. In a world. Okay. There is something called aircraft carriers. They are boat platforms on the sea that planes land on, planes and helicopters. The military uses these, and they're not stationary. They're in water. Oftentimes, they move all the way up to 35 miles an hour or so. So the plane will land on that carrier while it's moving 35 miles an hour. Okay? Let's check some of it out here.
The future is not just going to happen. You have to make it. And if you want a
Okay, did you see that impact? Now, of course, everyone knows what it's like to fly a plane, okay? And something else I want to show you. Now, I saw someone say, they'll say conservation of momentum. Just wait for it. So I want you guys to see kind of like the mechanism here. It should be in this video. Okay, you see this cord behind them? They have a tail hook, and it catches this rope while they're landing to help slow them down. Okay, it isn't the easiest task in the world because sometimes, unexpectedly, the boat will move last minute. It'll like get rocked by the water. There'll be an unexpected current, etc. And it can be very dangerous. Now, they've mastered it to this point where they can pretty consistently land without crashing, but it was a process over the course of many years to really iron it out, and they've somewhat figured it out at this point. Now, say that the aircraft carrier is going 30 miles per hour north. The plane is going to have to come in and then land north. Say the landing speed of a plane is like 150 miles per hour. You would take the 30 miles per hour off because you're going in the same direction as the ship. So you're going to land around like 120, right? Or say you come in at 180, then you have 150. You land in the direction of the aircraft carrier. You cannot land the plane going against the aircraft carrier. It would destroy the plane. A very simple way to understand this, let's see. I'll just show you guys the video. And we're going to get into the specifics of why the north and south doesn't work as well. This is just a death blow to the globe. It just is what it is. And it just keeps getting worse. All right. All right, here we go. Okay. So he's obviously running in the direction as the same direction as the treadmill. Okay. Let's say you try to get on the treadmill going the wrong way. It's obviously not going to work out too good, huh? You're going to have opposing forces and momentum. And then you just try to jump on it. In this specific scenario, we're talking about landing from air to the ground, landing. Now, on a plane, you have tons of momentum going in that direction, okay? So anyway, you have to land. Now, this is the point. On the Earth, if you were to land any way other than with the spin of the Earth, you would have a serious problem, okay? If you were to land in the opposite direction, you'd have a problem. And you also, what would be even worse, okay, is if the Earth was spinning to your left or right, because the wheels are just going to go forward or back. When you touch the ground, if it's spinning in to the left or to the right of those wheels, it's going to destroy the wheels and the landing gear, and it's going to destroy the plane, okay? You couldn't land on it. They land the plane as if the Earth is stationary. That's because it is. They've come up with some type of narrative to try to say, oh, well, you can treat it like it's stationary. The atmosphere moves perfectly with the Earth, so it basically is. But it isn't actually perfectly with the Earth, because we need something called Coriolis for like 10 other reasons. So it is and it isn't. It's moving with the Earth, but it's not moving with the Earth, but it can be treated like it's moving perfectly in lockstep with the Earth, but it's not moving in lockstep with the Earth. And they claim that it's just small enough, it doesn't matter. Well, actually, it's going to be over 2 miles per hour. Taking that pseudoscience as if it was true, it's not, right? And there are problems with that. I'm only going to go into this so much. Like I said, I'll make a video that really explains the problem with all this, and you guys can share it. It'll be under like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Anyway, so like you land on the plane, or they say about 2 miles per hour around commercial flight, right? Elevation, altitude. And then they claim that when you're adjusting for wind, it just matches perfectly. You don't have to worry about it because it's stronger than that. That doesn't work. You have to correct in a specific direction. They try to claim that it just automatically compensated for, but it's not. And then when you land, it would destroy the plane. Okay. Let me show you guys this video actually, because this gets really juicy in a second. If I can find it. Okay.
If you want to learn how to edit really well from professional Hollywood editors, we're going to show you the stuff that nobody else is teaching.
Yikes. Really take this in. Now think about this happening, but the ground is moving to the left of the wheel. Snap. Wheel's broken. Wheel's immediately broken. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how small the change is. It's the direction and the momentum and the opposing force. It would defy physics if it didn't break. There's no way this can be true. This is too simple a refutation of the globe. Yeah, the globe is stupid. The globe is actually stupid. Broken. Okay, you guys get it. Now, let's get into the specifics, and then we're going to get into the next step of it, which is the moon, which gets even worse. All right, here we go. Class is in session. All right, we're just going to read the whole thing. How do flat earthers reply to this experiment? This is someone named Michael Brenner on Quora. He's crushing. Studied mechanical engineering and comparative linguistics at Vienna University, and he's a flat earther. How do flat earthers reply to this experiment of them flying the flat earth route as opposed to the great circle route to prove the earth is flat? It's the other way around. Would be interesting to know how globe defenders answer this conundrum of great circle routes. Let's make sure it's big here. So far, nobody has, and pilots who should know this, like whoever he's talking to, usually are so full of themselves that they don't even listen. Okay, riddle me this. A great circle is the result of geometry. A plane cutting through a sphere through the center leaves a great circle at the surface. Okay. That means if you set a vessel or a plane out on a path initiating the great circle, let's say on a southwest course from Sydney, leaving out all external influences like currents and winds, geometry should make sure that you arrive at the coast of Africa on a northwest course without touching the rudder, all the while watching the bearing on your compass change continually along the route. That is not how it works, though. You have to work the rudder hard and constantly change course in order to stay on that route, according to the Great Circle calculator, at least. But if you touch the rudder, you leave the route created by the geometric plane responsible for the Great Circle route in the first place. Here's the Marine Great Circle navigation calculator. Also, I would like to shout out my boy here. Check him. Oh, yeah. Paraplegic Bear. Paraplegic Coffee. So shout out to my boy hooking me up with coffee, and it's very good. I'm not just saying that. The calculator requires JavaScript-enabled and cable browsers to sell a Great Circle track. The navigator needs to adjust the ship's course continuously because the Great Circle track is a curve when plotted on a Mercator chart. It is unrealistic to attempt to sell on an exact Great Circle route. Realistically, to best make use of the shorter selling distance of the Great Circle route, navigators usually divide a Great Circle track between the initial position and the destination into many much smaller segments. Okay, here it says the navigator needs to adjust the ship's course continuously because the Great Circle track is a curve when plotted on a Mercator chart. That equally applies to the plane. But the ship does not sail over a Mercator chart. It sails over the real ocean, and if that would be a spherical one, heading out southwest from Sydney, the geometry of the sphere would guide your ship past the whatever to Africa without touching the rudder. When in fact, if you would do that, you would hit the ice wall of Antarctica. How's the baby? Awesome. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not showing it. Okay, by the way, have you noticed that all arguments about great circles are always latitude arguments? They never want to talk about longitude globe coordinates, which are also meridians. Okay, so the prime meridian great circle route north to south. Oh no, Globers. All longitudes are meridians and great circles because they are produced by a plane cutting to the center of a globe Earth. And there are plenty of flights along such meridians, one of them being the route from Frankfurt, Abuja, flown by Lufthansa. Okay, other languages are crazy to me. Why do you put those letters in that order? I just don't. Lufthansa. Lufthansa. Anyway, so a little bit here. You have Frankfurt and Abuja. Okay, we're going to fly down south on a globe that's spinning. Okay, before we get into the details of the specific flight, let's have a look at the principle that goes under Coriolis, a term globe defenders absolutely love to invoke in all applicable and non-applicable situations without trying to figure out what that means. The animation here is from the Wikipedia article which calls Coriolis a force, but that it can't be because it is not an interaction. A fundamental requirement for something to be called a force is a projection of the non-accelerated movement of a body onto an accelerated rotating system. Okay, so here's a depiction of Coriolis, right? So you basically have a deviation, and it's a projected deviation. It isn't actually a physical interaction, i.e. a force. Here, the black ball is moving inertially straight and uniform from the center to the periphery. I did not say that. Just like a plane would do on a course south at constant cruising speed, where it is not accelerating, neither ahead nor sideways. Globers, pay attention. If you project positions along the way down onto a rotating platform, like a rotating Earth, for instance, the projection will have a curved shape. If you think of the red spot on the disk as Abuja, 4,500 kilometers south from Frankfurt, and the plane is a black dot moving uniformly along a southern course, then it will arrive at the latitude of Abuja, a great distance west of Abuja. Oh, I'm saying that right. We can easily calculate how far that would be. The tangible velocity of these cities are calculated as such. So here you go, where you actually take the cosine relative to the latitude, okay? And that comes out as Frankfurt is 1,074 kilometers an hour, and then you have versus Abuja 1,651 kilometers an hour. The difference is 576 kilometers an hour. Therefore, Abuja would, during a 5.5 hour flight, move 3,171 kilometers to the east. Okay, let's come back up here so you guys are following me here. As you're coming down, you're going to actually move 3,100 kilometers to the east, okay? Because the Earth is moving, allegedly. Which means the plane would miss Abuja by that amount, just as illustrated in the animation above, where the black ball misses the red dot. Just watch the animation here. Wow. No way. No way. Do you see? It's pretty simple, right? It's not really that complicated. It's just a cartoon. Like, you are missing the destination due to the projected difference based on spin. Okay. And this point out here already, the atmosphere is part of the Earth that moves in lockstep with it and thus carries the plane with it like a river. But it doesn't. It doesn't. According to your model, it doesn't do that. Argument. But that is exactly what Coriolis says it doesn't do. And it is an effect observed between two independent systems, one inertial, the other accelerated. Inertial meaning unchanging, of course. And Coriolis cannot do anything anyway. It has no executive power in physics. It is not a physical species. It is an observer-dependent artifact. It can therefore not be the physical cause of anything, like tornadoes and swirls in the sink. Of course, this is another example of, if the Earth's a globe, why do you guys have to lie so much and claim that sinks, the water in the sink and toilets go different ways above and below the equator when they provably don't do that at all? And that's like some little gimmick people do close to the equator to get tourist money based on the actual like build of the sink. Why would you have to lie about that until Flat Earth came along and called you out? Totally not suspect. Anyway. And that leads us to one of the most widespread misconceptions here and elsewhere, that gunners can and do compensate for the Coriolis effect by leading the shot, as illustrated here from a skeet shooting instruction video. You got to lead the shot the Impossi-ball, bro. That makes me almost want to, let me see if I can find it real fast. Makes me want to play this video. Oh, here we go. All right, we're going to play it.
So I've had solar for about 2 years now, and I'm very happy with it. My neighbors pay an average of...
Stop, present, share. Just so I don't get too, it's not like too dense of a stream.
We only have one shot at this guy, okay? A little left. Okay, now factor in the spin. No, god damn it, man. Okay, what direction are we? East, west, north? Okay. We only have one shot at this guy, okay? A little left. Okay, now factor in the spin. No, god damn it, man. Okay, what direction are we? East, west, north, south, northeast? Factor in everything. We need to know exactly the direction, the spin of the Earth, and how to combat it, or else we're gonna miss. There's no spin of the Earth. Take the shot, retard. But that would mean Neil deGrasse Tyson is wrong, and you miss every single shot when we do this. If we miss this shot, our location will be blown. We've been here for 4 days shitting in little cans. Tell me the spin of the Earth. Like, okay, down to the left 16 inches. No. They saw us. I missed the shot. I guess it was spinning a little faster than I thought. Globe, Earth, sniper. I can see the mirage. No, that's the target. Must be a mirage. No, I thought. Globe, Earth, sniper. I can see the mirage. No, that's the target. Must be a mirage. Well, I've done the calculations. 8 inches per mile squared. I wouldn't be able to see him. It's a mirage. I'm not taking the shot. It's him. Like, every sniper just shoots people. That's a fucking mirage. That means Neil deGrasse Tyson, the bike thief with the answers, is somehow misleading me. Globe, Earth, sniper. Okay, if you factor in the curve. This is clearly a mirage.
That's one of the funniest, like, minute-long videos ever. All right, we're going to go back over here. Let's throw that in there. A little information break. All right. They lead the shot all right, but once the bullet leaves the muzzle, it is a straight flight in the aim direction and not a banana-shaped flight as in the animation above, which would make aiming and hitting practically impossible. Now, what you actually have to account for is you have a barrel spin. The bullet has a barrel spin coming out of the gun. we'll get more into this. I think that we should actually like go just kind of destroy that with like real physical tests because it would be awesome. Like obviously shooting guns is awesome, unless you're lame. All right. And nothing can accelerate the bullet sideways to straighten out this banana shape along its way and make the bullet hit the moving target. So Coriolis is a myth when applied to the Earth because it is a real thing, right? But it's a myth when applied to the Earth because the Earth is clearly not spinning, and nothing illustrates that better than flights along a meridian. I need everyone to soak this in. I need the Globers to soak this in. I'm gonna show you this just because I know you guys. Some people are suffering from cognition right now. So to really put this into perspective, he said the Earth's not spinning. Oh no, that can't be. It can't be true. And here is none other than your boy Einstein. But when I was a student, I saw that experiments of this kind had already been made, in particular by your compatriot Michelson. He proved that one does not notice anything on Earth that it moves, but that everything takes place on Earth as if it is at a state of rest. I am, of course, not appealing to the authority of this little grabbler. I am simply pointing out your belief system because that's what this is about. Schooling the Globers on what they believe to be true so you can at least make an informed decision moving on. So the Earth is not spinning, and nothing illustrates that better than flight along a meridian. I must concur. So, and that gets us back to the flight. Frankfurt Abuja. It is correct to say that planes don't fly along ballistic trajectories. They are powered, but it is also correct that they cruise at constant speed. Very crucial detail here. For which they need their power, apart from getting airborne. In physical reality, you can never catch up to a point that accelerates past you or away from you with constant speed. Certainly not by banking the plane in the direction the point is accelerating away from you. You need to accelerate yourself. This is a very crucial part, okay? For one, they don't even claim to bank in that direction, constantly correcting for the directional change of the Earth's spin. They don't even claim that. They don't even claim they do that. That's not what pilots are trained to do. Nothing. Pilots are trained to fly exactly like the Earth is stationary. Exactly like it's stationary. Period. Or everyone would die, okay? That's reality. Right? Just like I showed the video, it's completely stationary if you fly the plane, or you can't fly planes. This is why I oftentimes say, if it came down to people's lives and more specifically money and investments, the Earth would be stationary and flat overnight. Every time that something real has to happen and be effective, or people's lives are at stake, or money is at stake, the Earth becomes stationary plane real fast. Move on. Okay, so certainly not by banking the plane in the direction the point is accelerating away from you. Very simple concept. We're both moving this way, okay? If this hand is accelerating away from this hand, okay, I can't just catch up to what's accelerating away from me by maintaining a constant speed. It's going to keep accelerating away from me, okay? You're going to have to, now it's specifically accelerating away from you in a direction also. You would have to be banking and accelerating to catch up to the Earth from underneath you just to maintain the routes. Hope that's making sense to you guys. So you're certainly not by banking the plane in the direction the point's accelerating away from you. You need to accelerate yourself. That is fundamental physics, and not so much physics of motion, but physics of energy expenditure for the goal of overcoming conservation of angular momentum. So you can see the irony, right? Where, like I said, someone said earlier, well, they'll just say conservation of momentum. That is actually what destroys them, though. So this is a main tactic from ballers, right? They project intellectual ineptitude and ignorance onto the person daring question their cult of low IQ scientism. Their low IQ cult of scientism. IQ is not that important. Maybe I should drop that out of it. I don't know. Like it's scientism. It's a cult. It's a religion. It's a religion, okay? So what they have to do to propagate the idea that flat Earth isn't saying anyone, that there's question the cult of scientism as a science denier, they have to try to teach you talk down to you, and they have to teach you basic principles of physics. Flat Earthers just don't understand conservation of momentum. And then they go to tell you this like 7th grade textbook explanation of conservation laws, okay? Anyway, like as in, oh, please teach me about classical mechanics and conservation laws. Please teach me, I don't understand. You know, like it's just a tactic. Anyway, sorry, that was diversion. All right, so but physics of energy expenditure for the goal of overcoming conservation of angular momentum. When people catch you in the act of violating any conservation law, let alone the conservation of momentum, they will drive you out of town with wet rags. But when it comes to airplanes, it will be claimed that it does not apply. It will be claimed the atmosphere acts like a river, not for a bullet though. Worse, it will be claimed that it is indeed the Coriolis effect which is responsible for the fact that the plane hits Abuja without need to do anything about it, contrary to what the animation shows and is actually the case. This is very important. This is very important to fully understand. I'm going to start to look at the chat some more to make sure everyone's following me. Is Tupac alive? I don't know. All right, I don't see anything. So let's just continue going. But I will say this as a side note: you can't violate conservation laws, bro. Like you can't do that, and that's what they do. Okay, like for example, they claim that they're super rotational.